Connected with this is the biblical trend towards humanitarianism. And there is, of course, much in biblical legislation that offends modern sensibilities. There's no point in pretending that there isn't. For example, as in the rest of the ancient world, slavery existed in Israel. It did. Even so, and this is not to apologize for it, there is a tendency toward humanitarianism in the laws concerning slavery. The Bible's equivocating on this institution. Some societies, in their legal systems, it's clear that slaves are the chattel, the property of the master. The Bible, again, equivocates on this question. They affirm some personal rights for the slave, but not all. In contrast to, for example, the Middle Assyrian laws, where a master can kill a slave with impunity. The Bible legislates that the master who wounds his slave in any way, even losing a tooth, which is understood to be a minor thing because it's not in any way an essential organ. So even if he knocks out a tooth, right, he has to set him free. That's in Exodus 21, verses 26 to 27. Moreover, the slave is entitled to the Sabbath rest in all of the Sabbath legislation. And, quite importantly, a fugitive slave cannot be returned to his master. That's in Deuteronomy 23, verses 16 to 17. You shall not turn over to his master a slave who seeks refuge with you from his master. He shall live with you in any place he may choose among the settlements in your midst. Wherever he pleases, you must not ill-treat him. This is the opposite of the fugitive slave law, actually in this country in the 19th century, but also in Hammurabi's Code, right? Hammurabi's Code 15:16 through 19. If a citizen has harbored in his house either a fugitive male or female slave belonging to the state or a private citizen and has not brought him forth at the summons of the police, that householder shall be put to death. The term of Israelite slavery, that is to say, an Israelite who has fallen into service to another Israelite through generally indebtedness, right? That's a form that slavery took in the ancient world and in the biblical picture. The term was limited to 6 years by Exodus, by the Covenant Code. In the priestly code, it's prohibited altogether. No Israelite can be enslaved to another Israelite, so it's actually done away with as an institution altogether. In general, the Bible urges humanitarian treatment of the slave. Again, for you were once slaves in Egypt, is the refrain. Other evidence of the trend towards humanitarianism is the lack of legalized violence in the Bible. Here, if you compare the Middle Assyrian laws, you'll see something quite different. There, the Middle Assyrian laws explicitly authorize inhumane treatment of a deserting wife. You can cut off her ears. Legalize violence in the case of a distrainee. A distrainee is a pledge, someone who has been placed in your house because of a debt and is working for you. The citizen may do what he wishes as he feels the distrainee deserves. He may pull out his hair. He may mutilate his ears by piercing them. The Middle Assyrian laws also legalize violence against a wife. When she deserves it, a seigneur may pull out the hair of his wife, mutilate or twist her ears. There's no liability attaching to him. Legal systems often express their values by the punishments that are posited for various transgressions. And here Moshe Greenberg has done something very interesting, a little controversial. Not everyone agrees with this, but he's pointed out that the Bible differs from the other extra-biblical codes in the value that it places on human life. And you consider the crimes that are punished by capital punishment and the crimes that are punished by monetary compensation, and he feels this is quite revealing.